Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh, shit. Oh, hi there. How you doing? Welcome to my Christmas special, where we build up a Christmassy Christmas bike in the Christmas colors. So today's bike of choice is a Dekerf from 1995. This was just called the Dekerf suspension because it's got the rear suspension. They licensed the rear suspension from AMP and built their own front end. The front end is quite nice, quite unique, very similar to the Dekerf hardtails. It's got that little gusset, the stainless steel gusset at the front. The seat tube is actually reinforced and it has special butting to allow for the added stress of the suspension linkage. It's actually reinforced at the bottom bracket just to stiffen everything up. So this bike right here, the Dekerf, is the bike we're going to build today in Christmas colors for the Christmas special. So hope you guys stick around and join me building up this beautiful Dekerf suspension bike with a plethora of Christmas inspired colored bike parts over on the couch there. They're just chilling. They're just ready to slide themselves onto this bike, and hopefully we got some time to ride. So let's get started. Let's get this bike built up. But first I got to finish decorating the tree with these bike parts. We just got a couple bike parts here. This is from a synchro stem. That looks pretty nice. All I need is a roaring fire. So pretty cool story with this old Dekerf, and someone messages me on Facebook, look for a good home. He gifted me this Dekerf, basically as you see it. So we're gonna change a few things on it. My dad was nice enough to bring it all the way down from Rossland and drop it off at my small little apartment that I lived in when I first got this bike. And funny enough, this bike was actually with me one of my Christmases because I found this old photo of this bike just chilling by the Christmas tree. I knew that I needed to find a bike that was really Christmassy, if that's a word. And this one, when I went to my storage, just kind of jumped out at me. I couldn't decide what color should the base frame be. I figured green would be the best, and then we could build on from that green color. So this one just kind of jumped out at me out of the corner, and it was perfect. It took me quite a few days just to figure out what parts were going to go on it, and now we've got all the parts. Thank you, Angus, for giving me this bike. That was a great gift. Take this brace off and put a nice red brace on there. This nice red brace. Ooh, that looks good. Don't worry, the frame's not actually clamped down. It's just sitting in there loose. I wouldn't actually clamp down a frame, even though this is butted, reinforced. This also has a reinforced lug on it. That's, again, just to strengthen the back end for this dual suspension. Chris Dekerf worked for Rocky Mountain, and then he started his own company, Dekerf Innovations, where he was contracted to build frames. It wasn't until '93 that Dekerf was actually building his own frames and then continued on with his company. There's a lot of features and details on Chris Dekerf's bikes that definitely stood out. So if you weren't riding a custom Rocky, a Brody, you were probably riding a Dekerf back in the day. Growing up in Nelson, Mark Holt, Joe Schwartz, both those guys had the Dekerf hardtails in the 90s, late 90s. So many bikes were converted in that era to a high-rise Rooks bar and stem. So I'd love to delve deeper in the future on Dekerf, Chris Dekerf, the owner, builder, fabricator, who's still building bikes, painting bikes. And just want to thank everyone for watching my Brody Romax video. That one was a lot of fun to make. That derailleur has been on there a long time. So we're actually going to remove the XT. I do like XT. This would have came on it originally. But we've got something we've got something a little nicer to put on this bike just because it's a Christmas build. We want to make it as elegant and beautiful as possible. Oh man, that's been on there a long time. So we'll save that for another build. Whoa, look at all these beautiful parts. Race face, we got some synchros, some White Brothers, Ringley, Magura, White Industries, Sun rims, so many great parts. All those parts going on here. First thing I want to do is just get a seat post in there. So just a little dollop of grease on there. Slide that in. It's not too bad. Pretty tight tolerance. Oh yeah, that's moving a little better now. Get some of that old dirt, some of that old rust out of there. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. I've got other ways to clean out the seat tube, but we're not gonna get too crazy right now. Yeah, look at that. This piece of the synchros post is way too easy to lose. You'll see people looking for this little saddle piece all the time. So we're just going to put that there and not lose it. As I mentioned, we do need to remove this brace. So maybe a little bit of leverage on here is going to... Oh yeah, not bad. Oh yeah. Nice to see those bolts come out, no problem. And now we got to take these canty bosses off. This actually holds the brace in place. And then this guy here. Now this should pop right off, look at that. So it's interesting, if you ever take a Judy apart, you got to put these boots on first before you put the brace on, or else they'll be stuck in the up position forever. So you got to tuck this boot over that lip and then put the brace on, and then the brace helps the boots on in place. So how much better does that look? Hello. Way better. So yeah, just thread those back in. Thread this back in. So like I was mentioning, you got to tuck your boot in behind this brace before you bolt down the brace. So sometimes the boot just needs a spin or a pull. Sometimes it's kind of a pain. And then the one last there. So the boots are actually on where they should be. We'll see how long that lasts. So let's crank this down. And crank this one down. I don't know what you guys think, but that brace, that red brace on there, looks pretty good to me. And then put these. We could even went without the boots, but that looks pretty good. I like it. Very Christmassy. So for some reason, this steer tube doesn't have a star nut. A star nut allows you to crank down the top cap and pull everything together, and this doesn't actually have the star nut. So I don't actually have a new one, so we're gonna have to go punch out a star nut out of a steer tube. Got to use what I got here. I don't recommend reusing star nuts, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't have one here, so boom! Look at that beautiful star nut. Not even that damaged. So we should be able to slide it in here. Thing is, once the star nut pulls everything together and you tighten the stem, it should all be good anyway. So it just preloads everything. You tighten that stem down. You could take this off and still be okay. I remember a guy on the race circuit, he didn't even ride with the top cap. I thought it was so weird. But then dirt and water and shit would go down there. So we got our star nut setting tool. You just thread that on there, slide this through here, slide this through here, boom, bada bang, bada bam, and just a little bit of hammering. Boom, 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 boom. And should be perfect. We have a perfectly placed star nut. Beautiful. Okay, so race face headset. Make sure you got these seals and slide that on there. This headset's a little bit faded, not as bright as I'd like, but obviously I'm just happy to have the red and the red. Put everything back together. Make sure you got your wedge. If you got a race face headset, this wedge is very important. Without the wedge, you got nothing. You got nothing, my friend. So that's back together. And the first part from our pile, this is kind of exciting. First part from our pile. This is the Synchro's downhill stem. Oh yeah, it's just perfect. Look at this. Uh-oh, stay. These early Synchro's top caps were the coolest. They were actually made of metal. So we'll just slide that there. Synchros. This is always an exciting part, tightening down the headset. Then you know you got one important part done. Then you know you got the fork, the headset, and the stem. That feels okay. All right, headset's tight, and then tighten the side bolt, and then we're happy. Look at that. Looks pretty good to me. Well, that's a great start to the build. Some Synchros, some race face, very Canadian build with the Synchros. We've actually got a Synchros titanium seatpost on here as well. Back in the day, there was a bit of a problem. You had this style of stem where the faceplate didn't come off. Many companies coming out with downhill bars, and you actually couldn't put a downhill bar through this stem. So what did you do? All these guys wanting to run downhill bars, rise bars, and then you had the old stems, and what you had to do was do this little hack, this little trick. So you put your bolt in backwards and then have some sort of, I usually use a quarter, a couple nickels or something. And what this does is just opens up the stem. You don't want to go too far. You just want to open it up enough to make it a little easier to put that bar in. But yeah, you don't want to put too much stress on that stem. So this stem is actually easier to put in because it's got shims. So I can just slide that in there. But normally you wouldn't be able to do that because the bar would be a thicker diameter. And then we just kind of slide it in. Look at that. Look at that go in. Oh. Beauty. This is a special bar. So all the parts on this build are pretty much 90s, like early 90s to late 90s. This is a White Brothers titanium bar. So I wanted to smatter this bike with elegant, beautiful parts like the polished crown on the Judy, titanium bar, the titanium seat post. We're going to put a titanium cassette on here. We've got so many nice little bits that are polished or colorful just to go with that Christmas theme. I want to make sure that this bottom bracket's really cleaned out before I put the new bottom bracket in. It's not a brand new bottom bracket that I'm putting in, but it's in good shape, good enough shape. There's no play. It rolls smooth. So the interesting thing about this frame, so as far as I know, this reinforcement here on the down tube and the seat tube bottom bracket junction came stock from the company to stiffen everything up. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It looks like there might have been some sort of fix why they spray painted that junction. So I don't really understand that. But this looks way cleaner. And put some grease in there. The last video, you might have noticed I didn't really use grease. I generally do use grease, especially seat post, headset. All those high wear areas are where a part might seize in time. So I don't really want anyone in 20, 30 years to have to deal with the seized bottom bracket on this beautiful old bike. We'll just grease that up nicely. There we go. Let's get right into this. We got the bottom bracket. It's pretty generic bottom bracket. I really wanted to put a race face in this, but I actually didn't have the right size race face bottom bracket. So never force the threads when you're putting your bottom bracket in. Should just go in nice and smooth like that. Just hand tighten it in there. Oh yeah, here we go. That feels good. Nice and smooth. And we'll get the other side in there. Going counterclockwise. It's real nice when it just threads in pretty much all the way by hand. And then at some point you will have to get a tool on there. And just kind of crank it down nicely. Make sure it's on there square. You don't want to strip this out. It's a real pain in the butt when these bottom brackets are stripped out or over tightened or seized. I've had to deal with many seized bottom brackets in my time. And man, it can be a nightmare. All right, this thing's coming together pretty quick, pretty nice. Well, with the red headset, how could you not go for the red race face cranks? So thankfully I had a set of these kicking around. Just pop those on there. Pop that on there. This one has the Allen key bolts, which look quite nice. These are super common. And we'll just throw those on there. And find our 8mm. Where's our 8mm? Oh, me? While we're at it, let's adjust that front derailleur. Somewhere around there. We can fine tune the adjustment on that afterwards. Next thing in our pile here is kind of special. Oh wow, those cranks sure do look nice. The next thing is kind of special. These are XTR M900 shifter pods. The XTR M900 shifters generally came with the integrated unit with the brake and shifter, but someone actually made these pods, these aftermarket brackets for the shifters, and that allowed you to use it with different brake levers or Magura brakes. I was happy to find a set of these, and yeah, we'll just slide these XTR M900 shifters right onto that handlebar. While we're at it, we might as well just throw this seat on here. So this is an old Avocet Amped X Country R Avocet. So interesting enough, this saddle here was actually on one of my cross-country bikes. I was junior expert BC Cup cross-country champion in '98, and this was my seat, and I still have this seat. I don't have the bike anymore. The bike was a 1997, I think it was actually 97 Altitude TO. I got the Altitude team only bike in 97 and then rode it for the 98 race season and was the champ with this seat. Maybe I won because this awesome seat. It was actually pretty comfy. Oh yeah. I tried a couple different saddles on this bike here, but this one just seemed to work, and I think this might be my original synchros tie post as well. So just having my original seat and post is kind of cool. This is where things get a little bit exciting. Whoa, Ringley bottle cage. That'll be a nice decoration to put on this bike. This is just like decorating a Christmas tree. The bike is the Christmas tree, and all these parts are the decorations. So the next thing we're going to decorate this bike with is this nice Magura hydraulic brake. It was pretty common to see Magura brakes on the old Dekerfs. Another interesting thing about the Dekerf is all the cable guides are on one side. So some people just tape their Magura cable to the top tube, but they actually made these mechanical, these little stops here, they actually slide right into your frame cable stops. And it just looked a lot cleaner than other methods. So yeah, we can just slide that one in there, and then this one will slide right there. And then the brake, I think it's gonna be nicer to slide it behind here and then come out here. I kind of like that cable routing coming to the left side better, looks cleaner, works better. So the Magura brakes have all sorts of hardware to allow you to run the Magera brake on the canty post. So let's get all that. So with the Mageras, the main thing you need is these little thread-in pieces, which allow you to clamp down the Magera brakes. So all you got to do is thread that in there. Thread till it stops. And then that slides on there and then clamps down. And that's all you need. This side, all you need is a bolt. And most of the time, you do need a spacer behind the brake. So these mechanical Magera brake mounts are great, but they require these tiny little bolts. And what those bolts do is just tighten everything up. So that slides in there. Oh man. Downside is trying to thread these in. All right, I got it at the right angle now, and we're just cooking. We're just cooking with fire. Look at that. That's nice and tight. I like the look of these mechanical fasteners. You just tuck the cable down and underneath quite nicely. This one. Holy, a lot of screwing around here. Oh man. Those are tight. Those are tight. Looks great. Tuck that underneath. I'm stoked. Like the rear brake, we've got that little piece, the special bolt that just threads in. And what do we got here? We got our front brake. So slide the front brake on the bar. Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom. And slide a brake on there. Oh, ho, 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 that looks so good. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, and the brake actually works. Just put this bolt on there, get that tightened down. See how it works. Oh yeah. I love when these brakes work so well. All right, so this build's coming together really quick, really nice. I'm really happy with how it's looking. Very Christmassy and what I was going for. I wanted to make the ultimate Christmas bike. All right, I've been pretty excited about sliding these grips on, so let's just slide them on right now. Ori grips. What is cooler than Ori grips back in the day? There we go. Wow, that's a nice cockpit. If I've ever seen a cockpit, that's a nice one. I actually picked out a very special wheel set for this build. This came on a bike I bought years and years ago. It was a Gary Fisher. Beautiful wheel set, White Industries hub. And so we've got the anodized red Sun rim. I had to put the red Michelin tires on. This took some time trying to decide if this bike needed white, red, or green tires. So in the end, I went with the red on red. These wheels have been sitting for a while. You can see some cobwebs in there. So probably clean that up a little bit. Cassette feels good. And we've got something really special. We've got the M900 cassette that we're going to slide onto this cassette here. This cassette is really excited right now. This is a titanium cassette. Let's just get all these little pieces on there. That piece goes there, and then this piece goes there, and then interlock, and yeah, it's that one goes there, and this one goes. Good thing about this, you can't go wrong. Everything fits in a certain place. And then we put the cap on, tighten that down. Oh, that felt good. Getting this frame, a nice green frame, was like just decorating a Christmas tree and all the nice, beautiful Christmas colors I could find, like these gold skewers. So this is the only gold part that's gonna be on the bike. Slide the skewer on. Boom, bang. Slide that on there, this on here. Oh yeah, I can smell the grease, the old grease on this skewer. Wow, that'll get you going in the morning. So these Mageras are cool because that quick release on there allows you to remove it from the brake, and then you can slide your wheel on. Okay, quick release is on there. Tire spins, brake back on. let's throw that front wheel on. So the front wheel here, we've got the same skewer, same old grease. Look at that beauty. Look at that wheel. Holy, that looks so good. Slide the tire in. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Whoa. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Whoa. I think it's looking pretty nice myself. So I can't wait to just finish this off and take it out for a little ride. So let's just throw some cables on there and get the gears shifting. All right, so I just want to take a minute to thank all my subscribers. Thanks to everyone who's watching, and happy holidays. If you want to support the channel, you can always buy me a coffee. I'm working on a video just to thank all my subscribers and give a shout out to all the coffee supporters the last few videos. So thanks everyone, much appreciated. There's a reason why guys use these brakes back in the day, just so much power. So just a couple little tweaks and adjustments to the brake here. Make sure it's not rubbing. We got to tighten this down here. Ooh, oh wow. Oh man. All right, so I figured I'd top it all off with this red housing. I don't know if that's too much, but I figured we'd throw some of the red housing on there. This one goes over there. We'll put some ferrules on the housing, pull some cables through, and then see how it looks. I kind of like the red housing. I think it's tasteful and acceptable on a Christmas build like this. What do you guys think? You like that? Just like candy. Just like candy for bikes. Would have been extra special if I had anodized ferrules, but I don't. Make sure the housing's long enough. Don't want to leave it too long and unruly. Make sure it's a clear passage. If you gotta clean out a bit of the metal and poke inside your housing. All right, so this is the last piece of housing that needs ferrules on it. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam, right? Thank you, man. Thank you, man. My mean squeeze right here. Run some cables through that housing and then shift some gears. We're going to shift gears and put some cables in there and then shift gears. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just poke it in there. Just poke it in there. Slow. Ooh. All right. Sometimes this can take a while. Just keep poking it. Generally, you should be able to see some light through where the shifter cable enters. And then there's just a little hole. And there she goes. And just comes out through the other end into the housing. We were going for a ride. Oh, what? Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Dylan, I'm stuck. What am I going to do? Oh, there we go. Yay. Going for a ride. Whee. And slide through there. And then we slide through here. I think we were smart enough to put a top mount derailleur. If I could find my Allen keys, my back didn't hurt so bad. Oh. So this is a top mount derailleur. We'll just tighten that down and it works. Make sure the shifter's shifted all the way down. And it's pretty cool when you find these original XTR M900s with these little rubber caps. So most of the time those get lost. Oh, I can see daylight. I can see daylight. Daylight comes when you wanna go. Okay, so it's coming through. Boom. And then through here. Bada bing, bada bam. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sam. Oh man, that feels good. All the way back. And now we're all the way back here. Look at that cable. Back this off a little bit. Look at that beautiful XTR M900 with that gold skewer. And let's just see, is it going to shift? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Bum 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 bum. Rum pum 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 pum. Rum pum pum pum. Rum pum pum pum. The last part is okay if I grab these. Thank you. And we're back. My phone died. Got some fresh coffee and we're ready to cut some cables. Feels so good. Cutting cables is so satisfying. And one of the reasons cutting cables is so satisfying is because you're coming to the end of your build. Let's get this one down here. We're going to leave this one kind of long. What do I got here? So picking pedals was a tough choice. I had a set of red pedals I was going to put on here, but then I kind of wanted to go with kind of that satin, kind of polished titanium look. So I figured these old Shimano DX pedals were going to do the trick. I always grease my pedals. A little bit of grease on there. And just thread these bad boys on. Boom. And pedal number 2. Pedal number 2. Step up to the plate. Oh, this bike looks good from this angle. Wow. All right, I know I said cutting the cables was the most exciting, but connecting the chain is up there as well, because this is the final thing. Other than a little tune-up, going over all the bolts and everything, my chain tool broke. I used to have extra little pins. I'm gonna have to find another chain tool. Let's see. Maybe it'll... Oh shit, no. Carnage, holy. Okay, we gotta turn this off and fix my mistake. Luckily I found another chain tool. Let's get some air in these tires. Ow! Must be a high-end pump. It's got a pressure gauge on it. Look at that. Takes a while though. Oh yeah. Oh, I guess air in the tires. That's probably one of the most important things on finishing a bike. Pretty happy with how this thing's turned out. Pretty stoked to finally have built a Dekerf. Chris Dekerf. Oh, I'm excited just to get this out of the stand. Get my butt on here and see how it feels. Well, it feels pretty good. Wow. That feels really good. That's a great feeling bike. Whoa. The rear shock top's out a little bit. Wow. But yeah, how's that thing look? Stoked. Oh, forgot one thing. I forgot I got one more thing decorating this beautiful little present here. Look at that. This is a Tremblay bottle cage. They were pretty popular back in the day, so I thought this would be a nice addition to finish the bike off. All right, so let's get this cage on here. Line this bolt up if we can. These things, this cage is kind of a pain to put on, honestly. This is an important part that these cages are always missing. This actually holds the bottle in there. If you really want to put a bottle, I don't think this is going to go very well. Need more hands. I have done it. Look at that. The first Tremblay bottle cage I've ever installed. That went okay. Not the easiest bottle cage installation I've done, but it'll work. Oh, Christmas magic right there. So I put this chain on. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, but completely twisted. So I took out the twisted chunk of chain. If you can see that, that's really twisted. And we'll just throw this back together. All right, so that's better. That was a bit of a mystery for a couple of minutes. I didn't think that chain had any damage to it, and it was causing all sorts of issues, completely twisted, and we took that chunk out, and it's running good. I like it. All right, so I found out the hard way. My phone died twice yesterday trying to finish filming this. I need to have some sort of external battery to keep this phone going. So yesterday I kind of ran out of time and ran out of heating oil to heat my house. So So I filled up the oil tank last night and the house is warm again, which is good because it actually froze last night. It's getting cold here. Maybe snow. I hope snow comes because this bike needs to get in some snow like right now. I really want to see this bike in snow, sitting in snow, riding in snow, jumping in snow, in a sleigh, in the snow on a sleigh. Me sleighing snow on this bike. Yeah, so we're back working on this. Actually built it all up, sat on it, and clunk, clunk. There was no dampening in the rear suspension. So I figured it'd be no fun to ride without any dampening. So let's pull the shock off and see what we can do. Oh, early Christmas present right here. Look at that. Nice coffee. Nice hot coffee. Look at that delicious coffee. Oh, wow, that's so good. I just got back from another little film shoot, another little video project I'm working on, so pretty stoked on how that went. Look forward to finishing editing and putting that video out for you guys to watch. Let's focus. Where's the Allen keys? We're over here. All right, so let's pull the shock off real quick. I'm just gonna put this rag back here, protect the frame. Should be pretty easy. These old shocks, there's not much to them. Couple bolts, couple screws. There goes the bolt or the nut. And this should come apart just like that. There's a couple bushings. Couple of bushings there. Let's find that nut. Oh, I nutted on the floor. Finding all sorts of other things. Not finding what I need. I can't find the nut, so anyway, we'll just slide that through there. So now this should slide out. Oh, just so easy. So let's just see. Oh yeah. Wiggle that thing out. Okay, shock is out. There we go. So let's go try fix this shock, see what we can do. All right, let's get this done real quick. We'll just take this off, unscrew this, pour out the oil, take off the spring, and then we'll just push this up and oh, my eye. Oh, I'm okay. Okay, let's put some oil in here, cycle it through. Okay, so that was just a super quick rebuild. This shock's really simple. I replaced an O-ring. I hope it works better. Hopefully it slides back in there without too much. Should we give it just a little tap tap? Just tap tap. Oh yeah. All right, so just a little tap tap. And that's as far as it goes. You can see there. That's where it wants to sit. Make sure we got our bushings and a couple spacers. So just slide the bushings back in there. And then this goes up here. Oh man. And then this. Hold that. Hold that, Dylan. Trying to put this washer on. Trying to put the washer on with one hand. There, we did it. Oh, we still have to find that nut I dropped on the floor. Crap. Okay, anyway. We're going to tighten down these bolts here. All right, you guys want to help me look for that nut? Okay, let's go look. Where did it even go? Oh, man. Oh, what's this? Oh, look, it's one of those, the rubber cap for the Shimano shifter. Forgot to put that in. So we better keep that. Oh, ferrule. There it is. Found it. Let's see how this feels. That actually feels just like a shock should feel. No more topping out. Awesome. I opened up the fork. They actually felt pretty good. I was a little naive thinking this suspension wouldn't need a rebuild. So look at this. Look at this old elastomer. We're gonna have to pull this fork off real quick, rebuild the fork, throw some elastomers in there. we're kind of going backwards, but we also want to do this build right. Just a light tap, and then we got the forks. All right, so lots of different ways to get that old Judy elastomer out. Generally, it either melts or just deteriorates to nothing, dust. We got a box full of elastomer dust. This one came out okay though. Might actually be able to reuse a couple of those, maybe. Wow, those are in good shape. I've pulled apart so many of these old Judys. All right, so it was easier to actually pull this apart. So you just got these Allen key bolts on the bottom. That pushes, this pulls the fork apart here. So we'll just go like this. And then this should, ooh, look at that. Look at that fork leg. Ooh. And check out this fork leg. Ooh. Look at that. We are back here. It is now dark out. My phone died again. Ooh, ooh, that's a spot. Oh yeah. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, yeah, baby. Oh, what? Oh, what am I doing? Look at this. This is a little nub from the quick release, and it's jabbing into my back in just the right spot. That's amazing. Okay, so you're gonna have to endure me. Oh. Okay, let's get back to this fork. So I think I got all the parts for this fork. This simple, quick bike build has turned into more in-depth rebuild. So I figured we'd just tackle this fork. There's still stuff in there. There's actually a little, oh, that guy there. This little part here is important. That sits on the cartridge shaft. So C-clip is off. It's nice to have a long tool like this. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that all looks good to me. All right, C-clip is off. You never know what you're gonna find inside one of these. Ooh, oh, yeah, so that cartridge there is definitely blown. Nothing going on there. All the oil has leaked out. So that's pretty much done. You can actually rebuild these. We're gonna throw this one in there. This one, can you hear that? That's how it's supposed to sound. We'll just slide that in there. And then C-clip, bada bing, bada bam, bada boom. C-clip right there. Ooh, I like that. Clean it nicely. Guess what we've got here? We've got something very special. Judy butter. The original Judy butter from the 90s. Throw some toast in the toaster, spread some of this on there, and then, yeah, you'll be having probably a pretty rough time. So we're just gonna put this Judy butter in the fork on these O-rings, just all over the place. This Judy butter was great. A little bit of Judy butter on there, a little bit of Judy butter on there. Definitely Judy butter on here. Lots of Judy butter all over the stanchions to protect the bushings. These forks are notorious for having bushing issues, wearing out the stanchions very quickly. Slide that there. And a little bit of Judy butter on there. Oh yeah. Oh, let's put a little bit more Judy butter on there. The Judy butter will keep this fork fresh for a long time. We are actually ready for elastomers. I rebuild a lot of forks, and you guys might rebuild fork, and that's kind of why I do want to sell elastomers, so you can rebuild your fork. I could call it Dill's rods. Have you gone soft? Well, put Dill's rods inside and you'll be hard again. Something like that. So let's slide that in there. Let's slather some of that Judy butter on the elastomer, on this nice rod here, on this nice rod of elastomer. Oh man, that backrest, back massage is amazing. I wonder if I should market these. So simple, but so satisfying. So we're just finishing off this fork here, and we've got some new old elastomer. I had to swap out the cartridge, put a bunch of Judy butter in there. So, oh wow, that feels so much better. Pretty happy about that. So let's throw this fork back on the bike. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually ready for dinner. And I was just pulling the cartridge out, and the cartridge separated, and oil actually went everywhere, all over my carpet, and kind of made a mess. So I'm just looking forward to throwing this fork back together, eating dinner, relaxing. So I just use a rubber mallet, just a little tap, tap, tappity tap, 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 right there. Wheel back on there. Fork's all buttoned up. Oh man, that actually works. That fork actually works now. Okay, done for the night. All right, and we are back. This bike took a little more work than I first anticipated. Ended up rebuilding the rear shock, the front shock, but now I'm feeling it's ready to go. So let's pull this thing out of the rack and try it out. Wow. Feels good. I actually really like it with the bar and the stem. I can't imagine this with, you know, a flat bar and stem be like way down here. Oh. But yeah, let's see how this thing's gonna be. Oh yeah, that feels good. I can definitely say it was a tough choice between this Dekerf and this candy cane themed Rocky Mountain Speed. So maybe we'll leave this one for next Christmas. Or maybe we'll build it sooner. I still need a few parts for the Speed. I didn't even plan that one, but that is the plan with that one. Just red and white. Pretty rainy outside, so I'm gonna try to do some tricks inside. All right, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and happy holidays.